Yeah, man. Okay, first live stream. I think we're live. I'll just have to double check. I think we are. Let's see. First live stream. Yes, we are live. Okay. So we're gonna predict this fight night live. We're just gonna play the whole, do it like a normal video. And if anyone has comments along the way, I'll check on here. The comments should pop up here, and I will be able to read them. So yeah, let me know if you're here. So we're just gonna start anyway. You can go back and forth in this video, and whatever. So no mistakes can be made by me going live for the first time. All right. So who do we have on this card? First fight, Piera Rodriguez versus Sam Hughes. Now, I don't like to predict women's fights, so I'm not going to do it. So, the first fight of the night is Elijah Smith versus Su Young Yu. Now, Elijah Smith is actually fighting his countryman right here, because I believe he's like half Korean or half... It's either half Korean or half Japanese or something like that. I know that for sure, because he was on a Jackson podcast and he said so. I don't know why that's relevant, but... this is essentially the guy who almost killed the Japanese guy in the last fight with the slam. If you remember, he slammed in with the Rampage Jackson slam, and the guy, like, I thought he was dead, honestly, because I've never seen anyone be out for like 2-3 minutes like the other guy was. And to add insult to the injury, I'm pretty sure this guy was cut from the UFC afterwards as well. Like, he had a rough time, man. He literally, I thought he was dead. But Elijah Smith, very powerful guy. He's like one of those he has that fast, what's it called, fast fiber twitch, or fast whatever it's called. He has that. Punches very hard, very athletic, and he looked very good. He was caught in an armbar. He just lifted him up and slammed him on his head and knocked him out. He has power, real power. He has strength, and he's beat some decent guys as well. He beat, obviously, the Kazama wasn't like the best fighter, but he wasn't bad either. Beat Vince Morales, who's like kind of a journeyman. Beat Aaron Tao, who I believe that's the Australian guy. It is. He was supposed to fight on the Contender, but he missed weight, or in the UFC he missed weight or something, and then he got cut. You know, he's a good fighter, and he's young as well. Born in, what year is he born in? 2002, crazy. He's fighting Su Young Yu, who is a jiu-jitsu type fighter, I believe, from South Korea. Now, he just beat Long Zhao, who just beat Cody Garbrandt. And Long Zhao, I mean, he didn't beat Cody Garbrandt, but he beat him. But, you know, he got like -2 or 3 points, so obviously he lost that fight. Other than that, he beat AJ Cunningham, who I don't think is in the UFC anymore. And before that, he just fought a bunch of regional guys in like Korea or something. A few no contests, a few losses, a few wins. And if you look at his wins, they're all against like Asian guys. And then his losses on the regional scene are like Sarvarjon Kamidov and Dastan Amangeldi, who sound like Soviet fighters. So this guy's, where is this? Tajikistan and Kazakhstan. So when he fights these guys, he loses. And he's fighting one of those guys as well. Elijah Smith, I think, is a better fighter. And I think Elijah Smith is gonna win this fight. Now, this guy doesn't really get finished in his losses. I mean, he does, but like ground and pound in the later rounds. And Elijah Smith is a guy who finishes people. Is Elijah Smith gonna be disciplined enough to go 3 rounds without gassing himself out? That's the real question. It could be one of those fights where he just gasses himself out. But I'm pretty sure his dad is his coach or something. So, you know, usually when your dad is your coach, you have a lot more discipline. I think his dad is his coach. And I think he's going to be disciplined enough to win this fight. I think his dad was in the UFC, actually. If I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Or his dad was a fighter or whatever. So he's going to have that fight IQ, I believe. And he's just more powerful. So I think he's going to win. Has anyone joined yet? No. We're going to cut this part. No. Warning. Is lower than the recommended bitrate. I don't know what that means, but hopefully the quality is good. All right. Next fight. Luan Lacerda versus Hetcher Sousa. So Luan Lacerda, the 33-year-old bantamweight, fighting out of Nova União, who I believe have another UFC fighter as well. Who are their fighters? I'm pretty sure there's an Henan Barao. It's Jose Aldo. Yeah, okay. It's that gym. All right, fighting out of that gym. But if you remember, in one of his last fights, like I'm pretty sure he got beat up. Yeah, was it against Damon Blackshear? Maybe. Cody Stamen, he lost that fight as well. Simon Oliveira, if I remember correctly, he was losing that fight until he got the submission. You know, I'm not that impressed with this guy, to be honest. And he's a bit on the older side for bantamweight. Fighting a young Hetcher Sousa. I mean, not that much younger, but he's 30. And he's the guy on the Contender Series who I think he got a tattoo or something. Now, his dad died like the same week or something, and then he won. So he's got some real spirit. He's going to want to win this fight. And I'm pretty sure Dana White said he was a big fan of this guy as well. But I think he's going to be motivated. Is he undefeated? I think he's undefeated. He has one loss. And, you know, he has a bunch of amateur fights as well. How many? He's like 20 amateur fights, which is so he has a lot of experience. And honestly, coming up in Abdul Manap, is that Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov he fought? No. So if you come up on the European scene, usually the competition is a lot harder because it's the whole of Europe essentially you're fighting against. It's not just like one state or one whatever. It's the whole continent of Europe that you're fighting, and it's the talent there is so hard. Just getting to the UFC from Europe is a lot more impressive than any other place because it's so hard to win there and to get through, which is why there's not a lot of European fighters. And usually when they come over, they're very, very good. So Hetcher Sousa, he is very good. I think he's gonna win this by probably submission or something. I know he has a lot of TKOs or KOs, but I think he has some submissions as well earlier in his career. And I've trained with the Spanish guys. They have very good grappling and jiu-jitsu. Like they're very good at positioning themselves and getting submissions from weird positions. I remember I trained with this professional guy. If he was from Spain, I think, in Thailand, and he was a good. Like I was ragdolling everyone else at that gym, and except for a Spanish guy who was just very good. So the Spaniards very good at grappling, and I think Hetcher Sousa is gonna win this fight. So next fight, Bolaji Oki versus Manuel Sousa. Now Bolaji Oki, when he first came to the UFC, I thought he was gonna be something great, but he kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. His last fight, he got absolutely destroyed. I picked Mason Jones for that fight as well, so I remember that. And against Chris Duncan, he got he lost pretty easily as well. In his UFC debut, he got a split decision win against Timmy Kwamba. He looked bad. He gasses out. He's bad at grappling. And I remember in the Contender Series, I thought he was like insane fighter, but he got fraud checked pretty fast. He is fighting Manuel Sousa. I think that's a song, Manuel Sousa, who is making his UFC debut. Obviously, won on the Contender Series last year against Christian Perez, which was, I think he was the favorite in that fight, and he lost, obviously. If I remember correctly, I think he was, and he looked very good in this fight. If I remember, he looked very good in that fight. Or was it the comeback? It's hard to remember all these guys, especially the Brazilians, because all of their last names are like Oliveira or Sousa, or like they have the same names, and they kind of look similar as well. I'm just trying to remember what fight this was. I think this was a comeback fight. Was it? Like, do they have stats on this? No, he was a favorite. Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Okay, that he looked pretty good in that fight, if I remember correctly. And Bolaji Oki is not that good. So I think that I think Sousa's gonna win. Probably by like decision or like a ground and pound or something like that. I think a lot of grappling is gonna happen, and he's gonna like grapple him to a victory. The next fight we have Chris Curtis versus Myktybek Orolbai. Now, oh, we have some. All right, let's see. Orolbai's cooked. All right. You know, I think I was gonna get into that because this is a middleweight versus a former middleweight versus a former lightweight. Like, that's a big difference. That's like 30 kilo. No, that's 15 kilos difference, 30 pounds. Chris Curtis he's very underrated, 32-12 against Myktybek Orolbai, who gets hit a lot. Like, he gets hit a lot in his fights. I know he's like a fan favorite, and he did beat Jack Hermanson, which also was a former middleweight. And he like slumped him badly. But he gets hit a lot, like a lot. And Chris Curtis is very defensively good, and he's a very good striker as well. Obviously, he's from that gym, Extreme Couture, where they spar all the time. He's Sean Strickland's main sparring partner. And I've always thought that Chris Curtis is like a very good fighter. I know he has some weird losses, like against Roman Kopylov, Brendan Allen, but you know, that was in the last second of the fight, and I don't think he was out completely cold. Brendan Allen was a close fight. Kelvin Gastelum wasn't that close. Jack Hermanson, but he has some great wins, man. He has a win against Joaquin Buckley, and he has a win against Brendan Allen, Phil Hawes. He is very inconsistent, but he's very, very good. And I just think he's going to be bigger than Orolbai. I know Orolbai was a big lightweight, and in the welterweight, he's done good so far. But Jack Hermanson, we know, man, I like Jack Hermanson a lot, but, you know, going down a weight class after getting knocked out, not so smart. I think Chris Curtis is going to win this by decision. I just think he's a very, very good striker. And it's going to be a striking fight, and he's bigger. He has more experience. I just think Chris Curtis is going to get this win by like a not boring decision, but like a close decision. Like 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. So split decision, I think this is going to be for Chris Curtis. What do you think of Patchy Mick's Rising debut? Is he up next? Is he next up? You know, I think he has a great future at McDonald's or something like that. He's never going to be anything in this. Man, Stiffy Mix is what I called him. I picked against him all his fights in the UFC, and I was correct every single time. He sucks. He has a bad attitude. And it goes with what I've said. I said that weed smokers, like chronic weed smokers in the UFC, they always lose. They always lose. Like, they're not good. Like, they can't have the discipline to win a fight. And I've been right, like, almost every single time. Like Kevin Holland and all these guys. When you smoke too much weed, you just lose your fights. Orolbai got boxed up by Rebecca, and that Hermanson win doesn't do much for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hermanson was already, like, he had a glass chin. I could probably knock him out at this point. I like Jack Hermanson, I'm sorry, but yeah. He's just smaller, and Chris Curtis is a very good striker. But let's move on. Brad Tavares versus Eryk Anders. If you bet on this fight, you are an absolute degenerate gambler, because this is Mr. Inconsistent Unk versus Mr. Inconsistent Unk. Same age, like almost same birthday. Like, what am I saying? Almost same birthday. The last fight was almost at the same time. Same age, same type of fighter. I'm pretty sure they've been in the UFC for the same amount of time. This guy literally loses every other fight. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. Like, he loses all the time. His wins are against, if you look at it, Antonio Carlos Jr. He's not in the UFC anymore. His other win, Omari Akhmedov, not in the UFC anymore. Chris Weidman, he just broke his leg. Gerald Meerschaert, who hasn't beat Gerald Meerschaert? Like, everyone has beat him. Fighting Eryk Anders, your boy, who is the same type of fighter. Loss, win, loss. I mean, a lot of grappling fights. Why does he have so many grappling fights if he keeps losing them? I don't know, but he's a better fighter than Brad Tavares at this point, because he's beat Kyle Dawkins, who's pretty good fighter. He... Let's do only MMA. There you go. So in his last 5, he's won 3 of them. Brad Tavares in his last 5 has won 2. But there's so shit. This is a terrible fight, man. For sure, this is a 50-50 fight. But I think Eryk Anders is better. Like, he's an extremely boring fighter, and I think he can make this a boring fight, and maybe even a draw. I don't know. Like, I don't even want to give a prediction, but I'm gonna choose Eryk Anders slightly. I'm gonna lead slightly in his favor, just because I think he's like a smarter fighter. That's all there really is to it. And let's move on. Bruno Silva against Charles Johnson. Now, Charles Johnson is the type of guy to win against Joshua Van, to knock out Joshua Van, to knock out Loner Kavanagh. He's the type of guy who almost beats Mukaev, but against shitty fighters, he kind of loses. Like, I don't know what's up with this guy. He only beats up-and-coming fighters. We have Bruno Silva, who's 35. Definitely. Why does he look like a fake Dagestani in that picture? Where is his mustache? I don't know. Obviously, he won his last fight against Hyung Sung Park, who... Hyung Sung Park, people forget, man. Like, he is a very good fighter. He got choked up by Bruno Silva. He has some wins against Cody Durden, Tyson Nam, JP Bass. Other than that, against better fighters, he loses. And Charles Johnson, I've kept saying this guy is, against up-and-coming fighters, he is like one of the best fighters in the world. But against everyone else, he's kind of like not as good. So just look, he somehow gets slumped by Alex Pereira. He beats Loner Kavanagh, who looked insane in his last fight. He beats Sumo Dareji, who looked insane in his last fight. He beats Joshua Van, Jay Cadley, Azat Maksum. And then he loses to like Cody Durden, Ode Osborne. He looked very good against Mukaev. This guy, I don't know what to think about this fighter, because against great fighters, up-and-comers, he wins and he does so well. But against worse fighters like Bruno Silva, he loses. Which is, I want to say Charles Johnson, but he's broken my heart with my picks a few times. I want to pick him. I know he trains in Tiger. I'm pretty sure I've met him in Thailand. I'm pretty sure that was him. It was either him or Mike Davis. Like, they look kind of similar to me. But, like, if Bruno Silva was 10 years younger and undefeated, like, I would pick Charles Johnson. But just because of Charles Johnson's inconsistency, I'm just going to have to pick Bruno Silva for this fight. I think Johnson... Man, I don't know what to think about him, but we're going to go with Bruno Silva for this one just because of that. So, Bruno Silva to win this fight. Next fight, we have Vitor Petrino versus Steven Peven Asplund. Now, I think Tavares is a little more durable these days, but he also doesn't have a lot of power, so I'm not sure if he can sleep at it. Bro, this fight is not going to finish. Like, there's going to be 15 minutes, there's going to be ads between every round, and you're going to be on your phone for half the fight because it's going to be a boring-ass fight. But anyways, Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund. Now, Steven Asplund, I'm pretty sure this guy said himself he was like 500 pounds like a few years ago. And just kind of got fit, and now he's just won a bunch on the regional scene. I know he has a win in the UFC. Who did he beat? Shamd Sharaf, who I think is the fattest guy in the UFC. He is the fattest guy in the UFC. Obviously, he beat him. Won the Contender Series. After 16 seconds, like, he looked insane. You have to think about these fatter guys, like, their bones are used to carrying around, like, a lot more weight than a normal guy. So they're very, very powerful. But again, like, who has he really beat? Like, he just beat a bunch of bums. Still, he's beat, like, all of them except for one time he got choked out. But it's fighting Vitor Petrino, who is very powerful, has okay grappling, not insane grappling, like, but I think he can like carry himself with some dignity in the grappling. And in his last fight against Thomas Peterson, he was absolutely gassed out. Like, he usually gasses out, but he had no gas left in the tank. Like, he was running on emergency fuel, and he still knocked him out in the third round. Which tells me this guy has power even when he's tired. I think Asplund is going to start this fight, grabbing him, taking him down, trying to ground and pound him. And it's going to have a lot of success doing that. But at some point, Petrino is going to stand up and hit him with a left hook and slump him. That's what I think is going to happen. I've seen the Vitor Petrino left hook. I've visualized it happening. And I think it's going to happen. I can see a left hook knockout. Because he lost against Jacoby, who I think Jacoby is very underrated. And he got choked out by Anthony Lionheart Smith, who we're trying to overtake in subscribers, by the way. Subscribe to the channel. But still, he has some underrated wins, man. He really does. He beat Anton Turkalj, Pleasure Man. He beat Modestas Bukauskas, who was, kind of shit. Beat Tyson Pedro. Austin Lane choked him out in heavyweight. Finished Thomas Peterson even though he had no gas left. And Steven Asplund, we've just not seen enough. I can see Steven Asplund taking him down and ground and pounding him, but I can also see Vitor Petrino just hitting him to the body and Steven Asplund just falling down, thinking about hamburgers, and then getting slumped with a left hook. So I'm going to go with Vitor Petrino to win this one. I don't know who's the favorite in these fights. I never know. I literally never know. Like, the odds are not here. Sometimes I pick huge favorites without even knowing. Now, huge underdogs without even knowing. Like, happened a few times. The last few weeks we had 3 weeks in a row with only one wrong pick, and then last week we did a bit worse. I think we had 3 wrong picks and the rest of them correct. So it's still good, but we're trying to get everything right, obviously. So Vitor Petrino for that one. Next fight we have Marwan Rahiki versus Harry Hardwick. Now, Marwan Rahiki, if you remember his Contender Series fight, he literally got knocked out like 4 times in that fight, but he stood back up every single time. But he got, like, with another referee, that fight would have been stopped like at 3 different occasions. But good on the referee for not stopping it, because he did end up winning. I think the other guy gassed himself out. And so that was very impressive, but he got so... Bro, there was so much damage done to him in that fight. Like, literally, I swear, have you seen that Johnny Walker fight where he got knocked out like 4 times? That's the same thing that happened to this guy, but he came back and won. And he's technically very, very good, but he has no chin, man. Like, against anyone with a bit of power, this guy can get knocked out. And Harry Hardwick. Man, I'm rooting for this guy. I really do. I know he's had a hard time with his whole career. And then he finally got to the UFC and his leg just gave out. I don't know what happened. But when has this guy, like... Is he a powerful striker? Is he going to knock... Marwan Rahiki is a very slick striker. Very, very slick. Fast. But hit him with anything hard and he's done. It's a hard fight to predict because I think Rahiki is technically better, but does he have the experience? Like his last fight, man, I can't forget the image of him being slumped so many times and standing back up. I'm going to go with Harry Hardwick to win. I think his experience is going to play a part, and he's going to want to win this fight. He's really going to want to win this fight. Because if he doesn't, he's going to get cut from the UFC. That's legit what's going to happen. And I know he didn't look good in his debut, but, his leg broke after like 1 minute and a half. Like, what is he supposed to do? I'm going to go with Harry Hardwick. Like, it's going to be a feel-good story. I hope he wins. So we're going to go with Harry Hardwick to win against Marwan Rahiki. Next fight, we're going to go with... Who is it? Fili versus Jose Delgado. Andre Fili is one of those guys similar to Charles Johnson, where he beats some of the up and coming guys, but then he loses against nobodies. Now Andre Fili, he's a UFC veteran. He's been here for like 10 years. I picked him to win against Christian Rodriguez. I remember he won by split. Lost against Melky Costa. No shame in that. Beaten all Cub Swenson. Split decision. Lost Danny. So he wins and loses every other fight. That's the story of his career. That's basically his whole career. Win every other fight. Jose Delgado, 27-year-old, training out of MMA Lab. With pretty sure that's. I'm pretty sure he's training with Sean O'Malley. If I'm not mistaken, has he? Jared Cannonier, Mario Batista. Yeah, it's that gym, I think. I'm pretty sure I heard something like that. Clayton Carpenter. So a good gym, good fighters. Jose Delgado, he's talented. I know he lost against Nathaniel Wood, but Nathaniel Wood is a very good fighter as well. Beat Hydra Emil, Connor Matthews, a few other guys. Andre Fili is the type of guy to lose these fights against up and like. It's hard with this guy because he wins split decisions. He's a good fighter. I just think if you can if you can study his tape, you can beat Andre Fili. And I think MMA Lab is a gym that studies tape. So I'm gonna trust the coaching of Jose Delgado to win in this fight. And I think he's gonna win by a decision probably against Andre Fili. Maybe split, maybe unanimous. I don't know, but I think he's gonna win. We're gonna go with Jose Delgado. Next fight, Oumar C versus Ion Cutelaba. Oumar C, Sai, however you say his name. Fighting from France. He's had a decent UFC career. You know, he beat Tsuko Tokos, Da Woong Jung, lost to Alonzo Manifield, which was not a great look. And then he beat Branson Ribeiro. He did look very good. Was this in Paris, this fight? If it was, yeah, he looked very good in that fight. Not gonna lie, he finished him in like 2 minutes, I think. No, his first round. It's okay, so 4 minutes. He looked very good. Ian Cutelaba, but this guy is just a brute. Like, if you had a controller, like, he would just be button mashing. That's his whole style. It's just button mashing and hoping it wins. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. He obviously lost the split to Modestas Bukauskas. Very close fight. He beat Ivo Aslan and Ivo Erslan, who I think fought each other as well. Did they fight each other? I think so. No, they didn't. No, he fought some other Ivo Baraneski. Okay. He's beat only shitty fighters, to be honest. Like, Ivo Aslan sucks. Ivan Erslan kind of sucks. Tanner Boser sucks. Against everyone else, he loses. Obviously, he's been in the UFC for a long, long time. Ankalaev fucked him up. He beat Khalil Roundtree Jr., but Khalil Roundtree Jr. is a bit overrated. Not gonna lie. I think Oumar C is better at grappling. He's better at striking. He's not the type of guy to get knocked out. Probably has better coaching as well. Who is this Bulgarian top team? I don't know. But I think Oumar C is gonna win. Probably by submission or something. Maybe knockout. Or finish. So we're gonna Oumar C to win this fight. Next fight. I don't like to do women's fights. Should we do it for the co-main event? Khalil sucks. Yes, he does. The GOAT is like, my man, Serbia, what's up? Stand up, Serbia. Stand up, Serbia. He killed the last Ottoman. Bro, the last Ottoman, he brought shame. You know, after his last fight, where is he? Ibu Aslan, I swear to God, people in the comments, the Turkish guys, were calling him a Kurdish guy. And you know, like, when they start calling him a Kurd, it's basically like, yeah, he's not one of us. He fucking sucks. Ibu Aslan brought shame to his country. You know, he basically fought Vlad. What's he called? Vlad the Impaler, and he got impaled. That's basically what happened. Ibu Aslan is terrible, man. But should we do a women's fight? I don't even know if I want to do it. But predicting women's fights like 50-50, and it's gonna ruin my whole thing. Fuck it, we're gonna. There was International Women's Day back in the day. We're gonna go with Gillian Robertson to win by submission in this one. Why not? Coached by Dean Thomas, she has skills in the grappling department. And she's beat some decent fighters as well. Yeah, we're just gonna go with Gillian Robertson to win this one. So last fight, Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Gonna read comments one last time. Stand up, Serbia! Yeah, Khalil kind of sucks. He's trading with Hamzat though, but he is getting ragdolled if you've seen those videos. So Josh Emmett, the 41-year-old alpha male. Man, he's... Essentially, when you can figure out that all he throws is overhands, you can beat this guy. Like, just go backwards and counter him. That's how you win against him. He got fucked up by Yusuf Zalal. Lost against Lerone Murphy. I think that was 5-round decision masterclass. Obviously, he knocked out Bryce Mitchell. That was a sad fight. I like Bryce Mitchell, so I kind of felt bad for him. But Josh Emmett is 1-4 in his last 5. I know he's fought good guys, but his time as a top fighter is done. I think it was done a few years ago. And he's just too old, man. If he was 10 years younger, maybe. But Kevin Vallejos is a striker. A very good striker. 17-1 at 24 is kind of insane. He fucked up Giga Chikadze in his last fight. He beat some other guys. Obviously, he lost against John Silva by decision a few years ago, but that's not the worst loss ever after what we've seen of him. I just think they're setting Josh Emmett up for failure here, and I think Kevin Vallejos is going to put on a performance kind of like Ilya did against Josh Emmett. He's going to fuck him up 50-42 or something if he doesn't knock him out. So we're going to go with Kevin Axel Vallejos Montenegro to win this fight. Either by like 50-42 decision or like a late KO, or even not even late, but like a KO TKO type victory. So we're going to go with him. So to summarize what we picked so far, we picked Elijah Smith, Hector Sousa, Manuel Sousa, Chris Curtis, Eryk Anders, Bruno Silva, Vitor Petrino, Harry Hardwick, Jose Delgado, Oumar C, Gillian Robertson, and Kevin Vallejos. Alright, if you have any questions in the comments, or we're live right now. If you have any questions live, I'm gonna give a few minutes and answer those. And let's see, do you have any questions? Let's see. Bro, when UFC comes to Belgrade, I got a ticket for you. Bro, that would be... I've been wanting to go to Serbia for a long time. I have a Serbian friend. Maybe I'm gonna hit him up. I've been wanting to go to Serbia for a long time. I swear to God. I like the Serbs. Like one of my best friends when I was younger was a Serbian guy. Great guy, man. They're loyal people, good people, but he would like to fight, bro. Like he wanted to fight everyone, legit everyone that wasn't his friend. He wanted to fight. Should be this summer, I think. Are they coming to Belgrade? Because I've been wanting to. If it's in the summer, I could actually make that happen. I need somewhere to go to vacation, so let's see the events. How do you see UFC? I've been wanting to go to Serbia. And you met Islam Makhachev a few weeks ago, right? So they haven't announced it, but let's see UFC Serbia 2026. Is it gonna happen? Is it? No. What? That's not real. I don't know. I know they have a few Serbian fighters at this point. Dusko Totorovic. And who else do they have? Let's search up Serbia. What's he called? Dusko Todorovic. Dusko Todorovic. Let's see who Serbia has. Man, can you filter this? But like, I don't know if you can. Rakic as well. Rakic, obviously. All right. So that's basically the picks. I'm looking forward to this next card, by the way. It's going to be great. We're going to do a live stream for the next one as well. I like doing it live, having a few questions here and there. It was fun. Not announced yet. Yes, like a month ago. That's crazy, man. Man, I've been seeing you, GGRR. Like, I remember you. Were you the guy who was in the Discord back in the day? I'm pretty sure that was you when we had that Stoic Athlete Discord. That was fun times. Maybe I'll make another one as well. That was fun. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, official VOR. And I appreciate, who was it that made a comment that wanted me to live stream? I'm pretty sure that was, I'm pretty sure it was this guy. So shout out this guy who made me live stream. And yeah, we're going to be back with another one probably soon. I enjoy doing this. Leave a like in the comment, like this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Now, how do we end this live stream?